Okay, that was studying two voices. When you're learning it, you'll see that it sounds like two independent, two different instruments. Okay, those parts are called voices, right? The bass part, what the bass is playing, is your bottom voice, right? And then the top part is your top voice. Okay, and then you combine those together. So the thumb is playing the bottom voice, and then the IM fingers are playing the top voice. So when you learn this part, you should learn the top voice first, the treble part, right? The part that's played on these three strings, first, second, and third string, and then once you get that part, then learn the bass part with the thumb. The thumb is playing those fourth, fifth, and sixth string, and then once you get both of those, then of course you put those together. Okay, so let's take a look at the melody, the top part. We have an A, then it goes to C, then it goes back to A, and then the next measure 3, you have a B. Okay, measure 4, you have a D, and then it goes to a B. Now you want to make sure you follow those fingers. You're always alternating the fingers in the I and M. And then it goes to a C, measure 5, measure 6, an E, and then C, and then measure 7 is a D, measure 8, a B, then a C again, then A, back to C again, next measure, B, next measure is a G, and then a B. You have a G and then a B there. When you play the B, it's a good idea to stop that previous note from ringing. You had a G and then you play the B. Okay, as soon as you play that B, try to move that finger, the other finger back to stop that G that you previously played so it doesn't ring. Okay, and the next measure, an A, G, B, same thing. Okay, you want to stop that G when you play the B. You move the finger back to stop that note from ringing. Okay, you don't want the notes to ring together. Then the last note is an A. Okay, if you look at that A, there's what we call a tie. It connects those two together. Okay, so you have an A whole note, and then the next measure, they're tied together. So what you really have is an A that's going to be held for 4 beats, 2, 3, 4, and then to the next measure, 2, 3, 4. So you're just going to hold it. Okay, don't play it twice. You just play it once, and you let it ring. So those two whole notes become 8 beats. And that's the top voice. If we look at the bottom voice, we have the bass line. We're just counting. It's in 4. Everywhere you have that symbol there, that's a rest, quarter rest. So you're just going to stop the note from ringing. And you want to use your finger to dampen the note from ringing. So watch me play the first measure here. That was the first and second, actually. I'm using the thumb, the side of my thumb, to stop the string from ringing, and you want to do that wherever there's a rest. Okay, so let's try it again. I'm going to play the first 4 measures, and just kind of watch what my finger is doing to stop the note from ringing. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and rest, 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 rest. See how I'm using the finger, the side of the finger, to stop the note from ringing. Okay, so try to do that. Sometimes you can use the left hand part of your finger to stop a note from ringing. Okay, it all depends on what's coming, what notes you're going to be playing next. But you want to try to stop those notes from ringing all together, especially bass notes, because when they start ringing together, they sound kind of muddy. So this exercise is a good example, and then also the string, what we call string dampening. Okay, so I'm going to play this example, and I'm going to stop the note wherever there's a rest. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. Sorry. Let's start again. From measure 9. 1, 2, 3, and 1. Okay, so that was that part. So now when you're putting them together, you want to be aware of the top voice. If there's a whole note, make sure you're letting that note ring for the full value. And on the bottom part, if there's a rest, you're dampening whatever you need to. Okay, so let's try that first measure. Okay, so when you play that, you just got to make sure you're holding down that A, and then the bass note, the other A, the lower A, you're just coming in on the right time, which is on beat 2, 3, and 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Next measure, 1, 2, 3, 4. The second measure, you just want to make sure that you're playing the top voice, 1, 2, 3, and you're holding down that note for 2 beats, the C. Then the next measure, you're holding down that note A for 2 beats. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, and then on the bass part, when you get to beat 2, and then when you get to beat 4, you're plucking the note. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Take a look at measure 3. Beat 1 is the top voice. 1, 2, 3, 4. On beat 1, top voice. On beat 2, 3, 4, it's just the bass. Go to measure 4. You're playing a D, and then a B, and then a B. Make sure you let it ring for half note, which is 2 beats. 1, 2, 3, and okay. When you do the bass, you just got to remember to play the bass note on beat 2 and on beat 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Measure 5. The rhythm is similar to measure 1. You're playing the top voice. It's a whole note. You got to hold down that C for all 4 beats. And then in the bass part, you're just playing the A on beats 2, 3, and 4. So, okay. Measure 6, the same rhythm as measure 2. You play an open E, 2 beats, and then you play a C for 2 beats. The bass comes in on beat 2 and on beat 4. So it's 1, 2, 4. Measure 7, you're playing a D. You see that rhythm, it's very similar to the first measure and the fifth measure. It's the same measure, it's the same rhythm, different notes. Okay. Measure 8 is also the same rhythm, it's just different notes. Okay. Let's look at measure 9. Measure 9 is the same rhythm as the first measure. Okay. Different notes. Measure. All the rhythms that continue are it's either a whole note that you're sustaining, or you're playing a half note on the top voice. Okay. On the bottom part, you just got to look at the bass notes. They're all quarter notes. You're either coming in on beats 2, 3, and 4, or on beat 2 and on beat 4. So keep that in mind. Let's look at the very end. You're just playing the whole note on the first beat, and then on beat 2, 3, 4, you're just playing the bass note. And the next measure, you play it again on the first beat, just the low bass. Okay, that other A that's in the top voice is a tie, so you're not going to play it again. You're just going to sustain that A that's right there. So here's the last two measures: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it.